Good afternoon, everyone. It's 5:05 and we're about to get rolling with our closing session. I'll give folks a minute or two to get in their seats. They are by association if you haven't figured that out, so look for your friends from the same association. I hope you have your mobile devices because there is a vote using Election Buddy in the middle of this session, so heads up on that. Are we technologically ready to get streaming, or are we already streaming? All right, folks, could we hush the conversations a little bit, and we'll get you out of here as soon as possible. Thank you. It's strange to be here on a Saturday afternoon and not a Sunday morning, but I did notice a few suitcases, so I'm glad the tradition of running out after the closing session continues. I'm Kurt Clausen, if you don't know that already, and I'd like to call this meeting to order. And thank you all for all the hard work you've done over the course of the last few days and all the work you're going to do over the course of the next year. I look forward to working with you as we move the sport of track and field forward. To get things rolling, I'd like to call up Lauren Premerano to do our roll call.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to officially note that we have established a quorum for this meeting, and we are now able to proceed with today's meeting. Additionally, the minutes of the prior annual meeting are posted online. Can I please have a motion to approve the minutes? A second? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Thank you, the motion is passed. Next up is Pam Fales for the Organizational Services Report.
Thank you, Lauren. So calling off the association names at the opening session is a big motivator. All four associations that were not credentialed yesterday managed to get their credentialing in right after the opening session. So that's great. As a reminder, on January 1st, Central California will be dissolved and Southern California will be taking over their territory, adding it to their own. So we will next year have 55 associations. At this annual meeting, Organizational Services conducted or supervised 4 special elections. We thought it was going to be a really slow year. Wasn't. Diversity in leadership elected a secretary. Associations elected a vice chair and secretary. Athletes Commission elected their chair. High Performance elected their chair. And now, moving on to annual meetings, the 2028 annual meeting bids will be going out in January. We're still working towards a 2027 annual meeting in Indy. More details on that when it's finalized. And finally, I know you all want to know where it is for 2026, right? Yeah, so once you see this video, this very exciting video, you will want to go early and stay late. Are we ready?
Most people know us by our government name, Portland. But it isn't the only one we answer to. We go by a lot of nicknames here. But you can call us Bridgetown. With 12 of them, hitting all parts of town is effortless. It's how we stay connected in tax-free paradise. With no sales tax, prices are so good, it feels like a deal, which saves plenty of funds for Foodie City, home of award winners, food cart dinners, and hot spot hitters. But what's a delicious meal without Beervana? We're all things liquid, sure to cure any thirst. Craft, IPA, natural wine, spiked kombucha. It's enough to make you jump and scream. Rip City. Pivot to the east side for hoops and fast break to the west for Soccer City. Throwing down with everyone, no matter how we dribble, shoot, or score. Excitement is always the goal in Rose City. Of course we stop to smell them. Make sure you do too, because there's beauty everywhere in Stumptown. Catch your breath at the tops of hikes and on top of paddleboards. Have fun kicking back in Sneaker City. From trails to grails, shoe culture is laced into our souls. Step out of the box and into PDX. Your first stop before the coast, mountains, rivers, waterfalls, and vineyards. So when you come, remember, Portland goes by a lot of names. But no matter what you call us, you'll always call us unforgettable.
Yep, we're going back to Portland. Yay. Okay. Next up, I'm turning it over to Sarah Reese, our CFO, for the financial report.
Well, that's exciting to follow. Now the finance report, right? Just as exciting. Thanks for that. Well, good evening, USATF. Thank you all for being here, for the input and hard work you put into this annual meeting and throughout the year. Here are some finance highlights for 2025. The audited financial statements and the 990 are posted. The auditors gave an unqualified or clean opinion on our financial statements again this year. We are on track with the initiatives set forth last year, including increasing revenue, streamlining expenses, and reducing our net deficit as planned. We have record revenue in many categories and overall. So on this chart, you might notice the normal jumps at the Olympic years and in the World Championship year, but also that those high points continue to rise higher than the last. Not shown are our projections for 25 and 26, which are expected to meet or outpace the 2024 Olympic year revenue numbers, even in those non-Olympic years. And since one of those categories of increasing revenue is merchandise and e-commerce sales, I have to give a shameless plug on behalf of our merch team to those of you who still need to do some Christmas shopping. There are lots of styles to choose from, and I believe they're running an annual meeting special online right now. So go get your gear. Back to the slides. We do keep programming support as a priority with an emphasis on our athletes. And as the graph shows, there is an obvious dip in competition spending in 2020 when no events were happening due to COVID. But also, the other athlete funding line remained mostly level as we tried to provide support and new programming during that same time frame. Also of note is the large event spend in 2022 when the majority of the World Championship expense was recognized. Paralympics joined USATF in 2026. Yay, that is exciting. This has increased our volume of financial transactions and also of reporting requirements, but has been a great opportunity for expanding knowledge on both sides, and we are so excited to have them as an official part of USATF. Our new finance system will allow more up-to-date reporting. We implemented our new system in January of this year. This also required the implementation of a new chart of accounts as well, so a lot of work on behalf of my team and the national office staff. But now that we're business as usual with these changes, we'll be looking to capitalize on the capabilities of this new system, one of which, and one of the most important of which, is reporting. So we will be having budget to actual reporting on a quarterly basis. This will involve committees as well as internal staff for internal programming and departmental budgets throughout the year. The board, the budget, and audit committees, and many of you have requested more frequent reporting to keep us up to date with budget to actual numbers, allowing better decision-making throughout the year. So this means that committees will need to be keeping their own books for comparison with national office activity on a quarterly basis. Committee liaisons will be communicating more about this soon, because the only way to give more frequent reports is to have information, specifically requests for payments, reimbursements, and invoices turned into the National Office for Payment earlier than what we are requiring now. So because we have to close our books by January 31 to meet deadlines from the USOPC, our banks, our auditors, et cetera, all 2025 payment requests, this is really important, are due into the National Office by 12/31. Some committees may request them even sooner, so they have time to process them and get them to us, so look to your committee for that. but by 12/31 at the latest. So as soon as you get back home, turn in anything you have up through the annual meeting. If you have vendor invoices that you know you'll be receiving, but you don't have them in hand yet, please at least send that information to your liaison to let them know it's expected and we can accrue for those. So let your liaisons know if you have any problems or concerns, and we'll get some more information out as soon as we get back to Indianapolis. And finally, all association group exemptions expire at the end of 2025. Many of you have been working for actually many years to obtain individual exemptions for your associations, and I know several of you are still having significant issues when trying to get assistance from the IRS. Imagine that. Especially right now, it's nearly impossible. But we will help facilitate where we can, and we'll be continuing to communicate with the accreditation committee as needed. In fact, I spoke with Greg right before this meeting, and we're all on the same page trying to help associations complete that process. So that is it for me today. Wishing you all safe travels and a very happy holiday season. And now please welcome John Blackburn with the Rules Committee.
Sorry, I was hanging by the door over there. Good afternoon, everyone. Our Rules Committee, we met for about 5 hours yesterday and then another 2 hours this morning. I appreciate the very hard work of our committee members here in person, as well as our online participants, and we had really very good discussions, and I appreciate the technology people that allowed it really to go quite well. Our report has been on the document library since midday today, and I'll entertain a motion to accept the report, to approve and reject the items as enumerated in the report. Moved and seconded. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you very much. The report carries. Just a final note, a longtime member of our committee that passed away, we saw this earlier. Think of her as an LDR person, but Nina Cusick was a longtime member for us, so thank you very much. I'm not sure who I introduced. David Greifinger.
Good afternoon, everybody who was here and online. I'm David Greifinger, the chair of the Law and Legislation Committee. Law and Legislation Committee met over about 30 cumulative hours, both online and here. We considered well over 100 items submitted by the members. All 27 of us really put in a yeoman's effort to carefully consider the various concerns raised in the legislative proposals and have come up with a series of recommendations either to accept, reject, or table each one of those items. Those items have been continuously updated on the USATF library. These items fall into different categories, though we're going to vote on them all at the same time. There are certain bylaws that are subject to final approval by the membership. There are bylaws where recommendations are made to the board, and there are bylaws where there's an advisory vote to the board, and there are bylaws that are proposed by the board where we also advise. But again, we're going to vote on all of those as a single package. Before we proceed to a vote, any registered delegate has the right and opportunity to pull an item from the packet and request that that item be debated and voted on separately. So if any member, registered delegate, wishes to pull an item, now is the time. Good news. I don't see any items pulled. So at this point, we're going to proceed to a vote. And I understand it requires a 2/3 vote. I understand this vote's going to be electronic. Yeah, I was told I need our technical person to help here. Are we going to be voting online or by voice? I'm fine with doing it by voice. All right. So at this point, I'm going to call for a vote. If you vote yes, you are accepting the Law and Legislation Committee's report as is set forth in the packet. You vote no, it means you oppose. You may abstain. 2/3 vote is required to adopt. So at this point, I will entertain a motion to adopt the packet as recommended by Law and Legislation Committee. A second? Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstain? From my ears, it's unanimous. Wonderful. This concludes the Law and Legislation Committee report. I would be remiss if I didn't express my profound thanks to the staff, particularly Sarah Austin and CJ Donegan, who had to work a lot of sleepless nights to make this happen. So thanks for the staff, Sarah and CJ. See you all next year. Who's next?
You can tell I don't have my notes on me as to order here. You see, David, you grabbed the script. Before we go to Lauren reading the savings clauses, I did just want to remind all the committees, we're dispensing with committee reports here. Please submit your written committee reports to be posted online. So just a reminder, if you haven't done that yet, please do so. And then I'm going to turn it over to Lauren for the reading of the savings clauses.
At any meeting, any failure to literally or completely comply with the bylaw provisions regarding dates, times, sending, receipts of notice, or errors of phraseology of notice or proposal should not invalidate the proceedings if the failure or error in judgment of the members present have not substantially prejudiced members' rights. Please approve the following standard resolutions for the good of the order. 1, acts and actions. USATF approves the acts and actions of the national officers and the board of directors from the previous year. 2, banking. That the standard statement resolution be approved for opening and closing and changing signatures on bank accounts and signing notes. And number 3, minutes. That these resolutions be made official part of the minutes. All in favor, please say aye. Oh, need a motion?
Need a motion.
Need a motion. Second? All right, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you, the motion passes.
Thank you. You can tell lawyers wrote that clause, right? So that concludes our meeting. I could adjourn it, but I'd like us to have one more thing we all agree on. Can I entertain a motion to conclude our closing session? All those in favor? Opposition to stay? Thank you. Thank you all.